Nactv was launched in March 2010, and it all started with a small team of dedicated and talented individuals with a common goal: taking the church to the people and reaching into the homes of its members. The team is currently working with volunteers who assist with script writing, presenting, production, camera, sound, and editing. There are volunteer broadcast teams based in Cape Town, Bloemfontein, Kimberley, Kabega Park in Gqeberha, Dinwiddie in Gauteng, as well as Olympus in Pretoria, Gauteng. In honor of celebrating Nactv's 13th birthday, the crew would like to share more behind-the-scenes insight showcasing the Nactv team and everything that goes into a live audiovisual transmission service. Nactv has secured a weekly music hour slot comprised of the New Apostolic Church choirs and orchestras on Cape Town TV, a community channel in the Western Cape, as well as Cape Town TV on DSTV channel 263. The Nactv hour slot is currently rated in the top 10 programs. In order to keep the channel running, quite a bit of admin happens behind the scenes. Eugene Yankees and Jackie Warner gives more insight to Nactv's growth.
I'm responsible for managing the Nactv channel, as well as satellite broadcast and streaming platform. Responsible for all technical and operational aspects of broadcasting activities at the administration office. Now, if one were to speak about the technical coordination aspect, then this entails all live broadcasts, including setting up equipment, laying of cables, ensuring proper functioning of cameras, microphones. The other thing is quality control. I have to make sure that not only broadcast quality is maintained, but also that the standards of broadcasts are maintained. This involves monitoring audio and video quality. Now, here I must add that audio is the most important part of broadcast. So there's no point in having great video and the audio is bad.
I started working for Nactv in 2009. When we started Nactv, it was under leadership of District Apostle Barnes and Apostle Johnny Creel. And Eugene and I started everything. We worked very, very long hours into the night, and it was so much fun. I've got so many good memories of Nactv and how it all started. Our first broadcast that we had was filmed in the administration office, and our first presenter was Tracy Lang. The first program or broadcast was a few continuity links and concerts that we had, building relationships with different program suppliers all over the world. And so there was a lot of opportunity for people to get on-the-job training as well. During COVID-19, the New Apostolic Church wanted to ensure that there will always be a divine service for the members. The plan was to never not have a divine service. So I remember our first broadcast was in the kitchen at the administration office, and all the protocols were adhered to. We had to get special permits to come into the office. People couldn't move around, people weren't allowed to leave their houses. And I don't think there was ever a Sunday that there wasn't a divine service for the members to watch. After the COVID-19 restrictions were lifted, we just continued with live broadcasts, and we just wanted to continue doing that because now not only New Apostolic members can watch the broadcast, but anyone can tune in to the broadcast. People love our music, so we just didn't want that to stop.
For our transmission services, we follow a collaborative planning process involving the District Apostle and the Apostles. Now, this process ensures that service locations are selected in advance, allowing ample time for coordination and preparation.
The schedule of when and where divine services are taking place are given to us at least 3 months in advance. So we've got enough time to plan it. There's a lot of pre-production that will go into a divine service, from the music, the musicians, the sound that must be organized, the cameras, cables must be laid, all the equipment will be taken there to be ready for the next morning. Normally call time for the crew is 6:30 in the morning so that everything can be set up. They can go to their respective cameras and do all the tests.
I've been working with the Nactv volunteers for the last 14 years, and during which I have had the opportunity to contribute to various projects and collaborate with talented individuals in the team. Now, working with Nactv volunteers, is a rewarding experience, I must say. It's great to work with them, and our volunteers are dedicated and they're passionate and they're committed, and I really enjoy the collaborative spirit and enthusiasm of our volunteers. They really make it enjoyable, and their contributions are integral to the success of our broadcasts.
Working with the Nactv volunteer team is really incredible. Through the years, we've just grown to be a strong family bond. It's always great to have new people join the Nactv family.
We encourage anyone interested in becoming part of the Nactv team to reach out to us. The current volunteers across the country are the backbone of our operations. New volunteers are always welcome. They can join the Nactv team by contacting us through the church's website or by emailing us at info@nactv.org.za.
Clark Shoulder works in the music department at the New Apostolic Church Administration Office. He is responsible for preparing the choir and orchestra for an audiovisual transmission service.
Okay, my role with AVT services is simply to coordinate everything from start to finish. So we'll reach out to performers, and that includes the various groups of instrumentalists as well as vocalists, organists, accompanists, etc. And of course, putting a program together, that depends on the theme of the divine service. So the selection of the hymns will go accordingly, whatever the theme is, of course, for that day. And we'll use mostly our hymn publications to put that together. Our rehearsals would usually take place a day before the audiovisual service. If it's a small group, we get away with it. However, if it's a bigger choir, then they would probably have 1 or 2 rehearsals locally. And that is why planning is so important here, of course. On a Sunday morning, we would do our sound check, because during rehearsals, we would not have had sound, and it is very, very important that we have proper balance of sound when we put a broadcast out there. So our sound engineer will advise even on the position of the players, and often we have to move things around or performers around in order to achieve the best sound quality.
The head of the music department, John Rodrigues, would also be asked to take on the role as floor manager for a live broadcast.
My role in the music department is, of course, I'm the head of music, and that naturally means that I'm responsible for all things music, whether it's concert or divine services, and it's no different to the AVT divine services. So in the week leading up to the AVT divine services, Eugene would normally require me to give him a music program as well as the hymn text files of all the congregation hymns that will be sung or in that particular divine service. Yeah, and once I hand that to him, he would of course do the broadcast slides and then send it back to me. As a floor manager, I would normally arrive at the AVT divine service at around 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I would then, touch base with Eugene, just make sure that he has the latest program and time schedule, and if there are any last minute changes that he would, do the retitling. Once that is done, I'll go into the hall, make sure that everybody is on their post, as it were. Make sure that everybody's got their programs, the latest programs. Once the broadcast starts, just make sure that everything runs smoothly in a timely manner. And if we run late for any reason, make a call to cut an item. And if we are ahead of time, make sure that the item that's on standby also gets performed. So it's a lot of running around on the day, but if everything runs smoothly, then according to program, then there's not much for me to do other than just making sure it happens. Thankfully, we've managed to increase our pool of floor managers. We've asked the AMLs, the area music leaders of each apostle, to take care of the AVT broadcast from a musical perspective. It leaves a bit of pressure from both myself and Clark, also from a musical point of view for the AVT broadcast.
Audio is the most important component for any broadcast. Nactv has hired a professional sound engineer, Liam Cookson, mixing the audio during a live broadcast.
I'm a seasoned sound engineer currently holding the position of Head of Audio at the Artscape Theatre. I've also dedicated my time as a volunteer with Nactv since the inception, back when the first camera volunteers joined the team. Over the years, I have had the privilege of sharing my wealth of experience and knowledge with not only the Nactv crew in Cape Town, but also the various Nactv teams. In my capacity at Nactv, my primary responsibility involves expertly mixing and balancing the audio to ensure that viewers can fully immerse themselves in the same auditory experience as the local congregation. First, I'll begin with the organ, piano and the orchestra before moving on to the soloist. Next is the choir's turn, starting with a louder piece to establish the maximum SPL, followed by the softer pieces to refine the diction and balancing among the various voices. During the altar address, I also ensure the local PA system is functioning correctly, ensuring that all the local members can clearly hear the message. On occasion, I find myself tasked with both managing the broadcast and overseeing the live audio mix, particularly in situations where the congregation lacks the essential audio infrastructure and personnel. We make every effort to ensure a smooth Nactv broadcast, but inevitably, technical glitches can sometimes disrupt the proceedings. So on a Saturday, depending on the venue, our day will start at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. After all the microphones are set up, I do a line check via headphones and then check if everything is working, and then I would look at the program for the next day. If everything, if there's a soloist needed or where the choir is standing. On a Sunday morning, our start time is 6:30. I'll start up the consoles, check if everything's working. I'll send Eugene a tone signal to see if the connection between the sound desk and the stream star is established. And then we wait until the choir starts their sound check.
One of the most essential things in making the live broadcast possible is getting the camera gear and equipment transported and set up at the church. One of the interns at Nactv, Alex Trezeres, has a weekly routine for the technical and practical preparation leading up to the Sunday's transmission service.
When setting up for live broadcasts, we follow a standard order of procedure. We begin by loading gear into our van, driving to location, setting up at said location, laying cables for all camera and sound gear, and finally testing to see if everything is operating as intended.
On the Saturday before the live broadcast, the Nactv volunteers would also help set up the camera equipment in the church.
So I was fairly young when I started. My brother actually got me involved because he studies filming. With the first one that he attended, he dragged me along and I went with, and everything's history. I've been with Nactv ever since then.
I got involved with Nactv a few years back in 2015 when they had an open day, but I always wanted to be part of Nactv. An open day was made available and I attended the open day, and ever since I became part of the Nactv crew.
My journey with Nactv began in January 2022 when I started assisting with broadcast services from retreatees. This eventually led to a more permanent role when Eugene Yankees approached me for further assistance.
I got involved with the Nactv team June, July last year when we opened the Olympus congregation. I studied sound engineering, so when the opportunity became available and we started broadcasting from the congregation, it inspired me to become part of the team.
I've been part of the Nactv team since July last year with the inauguration of the Olympus building, this beautiful building that we see here. During the COVID period, I was in charge of streaming through local congregations. That led me then to obviously becoming part of the Nactv team. One of our district directors then suggested, and I clearly put my hand up to become a volunteer for the Nactv team.
Ek het verlede jaar toe die gemeente oopgemaak het ek aangesluit by die Nactv span. Ons het 'n groepie volunteers benodig om deel te wees van die Nactv span, en dis hoe ons aangesluit het.
I got involved in the Nactv volunteering crew beginning of this year. It has been a wonderful experience. One thing I can say is anyone that wants to get into it, it is a wonderful experience to get into. You learn a lot.
When I joined the Nactv team was in 2020. How I joined, how I got involved as a volunteer. The first AVT we had during lockdown, I was the soloist for that service. So I was asking lots of questions. When they had a midweek service, they called me in to come and assist. So that's when it started.
So I got involved in Nactv in the middle of 2020 during COVID. One of my colleagues in Nactv invited me to do slides as they had a shortage of resources. I gladly obliged, and I also then offered my wife to assist in the Nactv responsibilities.
Actually, he tricked me. He said it was a once-off thing, and I then did slides for 1 or 2 occasions. The floor manager at the time, Mr. Ackerman, said, let's make better use of your skills, and he asked me to shadow him as the floor manager. I worked him out of the job, and I'm now currently the floor manager.
My involvement with Nactv started during the COVID period when the need arose for us to be in touch with our members. Started doing live streaming during 2019 using our cell phones and basically taking it from there. And yeah, that's how I got involved.
My involvement with Nactv started, I think, when I just joined the youth. The Nactv crew came down with one of our youth days here. I was very fascinated with the cameras and the sound equipment and everything going on. And my dad introduced me to Eugene.
Dinge het 'n jaar gelede vir my baie interessant geword toe ek een van die vriende in die Bosen vra om vir my te help om part van die Nactv team te bekom.
My involvement with Nactv as a volunteer started out during the COVID period, where we basically used to use cell phones, doing services, funerals, and later on, once we started with the cameras, Denver introduced me into the production team.
I've really become interested in the Nactv team because I saw my father do services, and that really inspired me as I too enjoy technology and being a camera person.
I am interested in the camera operating, and as well I want to understand the production process of Nactv.
I started with Nactv broadcasting about at the start of this year. The reason I got involved was because I love doing tech stuff. When I saw that they were having auditions, I decided it would be quite a nice thing to do.
Sunday mornings is obviously a little bit more hectic, as we well know. It's the divine service. We've got a call time of 6:30, so we're pressed for time because we need to make sure everything is working properly before the congregants get there. Otherwise, it's a bit of a disturbance. But once all that's sorted, we sit and we wait for the service to start.
So a Sunday morning is never the same as the previous Sunday morning. So everyone arrives at 6:30, and then I go to the titles running order. I check if all the wording is correct, as well if it corresponds to what the production manager has in front of him on his screen.
I arrive at the church 15 minutes prior, often helping Eugene unlock the premises. We prepare by charging and changing the batteries, activating servers, taping cables, and troubleshooting issues that may arise in the morning.
The way the sound check works in our congregation, we get the choir in the day before and all the soloists. We set up the mics and we write a sound check the day before.
I generally get to the church first on a Sunday morning, which is 6 o'clock. We go and run through all the cameras. We do a lighting check, and then we do sound checks as well. Then once everybody is ready and set, which is generally around about 8 o'clock, and we will then start the proceedings.
My rol by Nactv is om 'n kamera-operateur te wees. Ek is een van die hoofkameras wat die bedienende amp afneem. So ek is gewoonlik die een wat moet sorg dat die amp wat dien 'n baie goeie gesig wys vir die kamera.
My role that I have learned is a camera operator, as well as working with the PTZ.
So I do the titling, we prepare the slides, the slides presentation a week before, and then
as the floor manager. Okay, so I became the floor manager in mid-2020, also during COVID time. And yeah, running the floor for Olympus and Dinwiddie in Gauteng.
I started doing slides, as I said previously. Got exposure on the camera, on the visual mixing desk, also a little bit on the sound.
During the broadcast, my main role will be to make sure that the technical side of things is up and running.
Then it's time for pack-up. Once the pack-up starts, chaos starts all over again.
Once the live broadcast has ended, the production manager normally still plays out to various platforms. Therefore, we don't unplug anything that has to do with power.
After the service concludes, we spend approximately 2 to 3 hours dismantling and packing away all the equipment.
Once the service has come to an end, the crew de-rigs the gear, which is then transported back to the new Apostolic Church Administration Office. The live broadcast is then edited to be a shorter version of the service to be broadcast at 6 p.m. that Sunday evening on Nactv for those who might have missed the morning live broadcast. On a Monday morning, editor Dwayne Booser would extract the music of the Sunday Divine Service that would then be aired on Nactv in the upcoming weeks.
I've worked for Nactv for 13 years. I started in 2010 with the visit of Chief Apostle Willem Leber for the One Spirit, One Goal Pentecost with a big international meeting. So I package a broadcast once a week. This includes the Wednesday afternoon package. That's for the children, the recording training. I also package the Thursday broadcast, which is behind the word and a few licensed programs. Those are programs that are purchased, such as international programs like Book by Book, etc. And then on a Monday I will start to get reflections together. But now I have interns who do that for me. And then I'll look at the theme for the weekend. If it's Thanksgiving or Departed or maybe Day of the Child or something like that, then the music will be in keeping with that theme. Once the entire broadcast for the weekend is packaged, Jackie, who's our producer, will view it, check that there's no typos, no spelling mistakes, maybe an edit choice wasn't good, or a fade up or a fade down. That usually gets done overnight. She views via AnyDesk. Once that's done, then I will mix the sound so that it's all on the same level and put the emblem in the corner and render all the files, export and deliver to the server in Eugene's office for broadcast that weekend. I started doing voiceovers for the church when I started in 2010, and then I started doing adverts, some even for FMR, for upcoming public concerts. Behind the Word with Dr. Marcus Cromhout started in about 2016-17. D.A. Barnes wanted the ministers to be trained up properly. We then started to do a weekly program based on the Divine Service Guide for ministers. And then we started filming it properly and professionally when he moved to Cape Town and moved into our office. I was a resident theologian and trainer, and we used to film in his office, and now we have a full-on set in our studios. The interns have helped me design and put together a set for him upstairs. We currently have 2 platforms in terms of social media. That's YouTube, of course, which is at this point at about 71,000 subscribers. And there are 2 pages, Facebook Nactv and Facebook New Apostolic Church Southern Africa.
Nactv has also taken on 2 video editing interns, Alex Trezeres and Lindre van Skalkwyk, providing them with opportunities to gain practical experience working in a video production and broadcast environment.
As a video editing intern for Nactv, my routine duties are to edit reflections, music for Cape Town TV, a community channel, and Divine Service promos. I also help color grade Behind the Word with Dr. Marcus Cromhout, as well as assisting with promotional material, such as our previous advertisement for the male choir hymn collection. I help Eugene pack up and set up on Fridays at location for live Divine Service broadcasts. I sometimes assist on Sunday mornings as well. Most Monday mornings begin with returning our gear to stories from the previous day's Divine Service broadcast. And finally, I'd either be working on our online music training, Masake insert, or our very own behind the scenes, showing viewers all we do here at Nactv.
Working as a video editing intern for Nactv, the type of content I edit are namely reflections, which we air on Nactv. So the reflections consist of about 2 or 3 thoughts from a divine service that I would extract. I also do trivios, and the trivios are a series of questions and answers that are based on the Divine Service Guide. I also package a broadcast for Cape Town TV where I select music for different time slots as well as selecting music for the post-Divine Service that gets played after the live broadcast. And then I also edit concerts. I edit some promos for the channel and also edit talk shows such as Life Matters, which is an actuality series where current topics are discussed with experts. I also get other opportunities and exposure to a variety of things that happen behind the scenes for projects, such as being involved in the set dressing for programs, namely the talk show Life Matters, as well as Behind the Word, which basically provides insight and context to the Bible Word for ministers and for the members. I'm also involved in script writing, recording voiceovers, and getting opportunities to do camera work for project shoots, as well as being a project coordinator for a project that's in the works for the music department. Nactv has also provided journalism student Shante Snell an opportunity to do a work-integrated internship at Nactv.
I am currently interning at Nactv for my work-integrated learning program instituted by Cape Peninsula University of Technology. At Nactv, I'm involved in doing Nactv's equipment asset register, conducting interviews, set dressing for the studio, and the setting up of equipment. My duties also include editing videos, doing AVT slides for Sunday's live broadcast in Cape Town, as well as the setting up of equipment at the location for live broadcasts. Nactv has provided me with an opportunity to learn more within my field, as media exposure provides me with the knowledge and training in my journalistic field as I learn in depth about pre-production, production and post-production.
The Nactv team enjoyed sharing more in-depth insight of all the hard work and effort that is placed into preparing and delivering a successful transmission service to its viewers. We commemorate this behind-the-scenes special in honor of all the volunteers at Nactv and everyone who contributed to the success it has led to. For more, Nactv can be viewed via the free-to-air set-top box, YouTube streaming, and from the church's website. In addition, live divine services on Nactv are also available from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Sundays on the following channel: Cape Town TV in the Western Cape on DSTV channel 263. And don't forget to tune into Nactv on Thursdays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m, Saturdays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m, and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. for more local content, music, theology, and Christian content. For more information on how to get involved as a volunteer, please visit our regional website at www.nac-sa.org.za or email us at info@nac-sa.org.za. Nactv, for you and me.